My name is Genevieve Savigny. I'm a farmer in the south of France. I raise free-range chicken and my companion grows wheat and lavender. I've been a member of the Confédération Paysanne for over 25 years and a member of the European coordination via Campesina for 10 years at least. And I'm also a member of the European Economic and Social Committee since 2015. The European coordination via Campesina is a peasant movement that really started in the 1980s in Europe with farmers from organizations from Austria, Germany, France, Spain gathered to share their same vision about the evolution of agriculture with productivism. And productivism is really the result of modernization of agriculture when the first common agriculture policy had been successful, actually, to achieve self-sufficiency in Europe. But then farmers wanted to keep on producing a lot because it was, it's something which is, I think, quite exciting for many of them. But it was not good for rural life and also for the autonomy of farmers. And this is why some farmers gathered and created the CPE as a common movement. Then there was a lot of discussion. There was the discussions about the creation, about the opening of agriculture to the global trade with the creation of the WTO in 1994. And before, in 1992, a big reform of the CAP, and that was really important to fight against, as it was really a threat for farmers again. So that was around those struggles. The peasant movements got organized. They managed to have an office in Brussels because this is where the institutions dealing with common agricultural policy are situated. So the globalization and the neoliberal policies were showing their destructive effects all over the world, and all peasants all over the world were suffering the same problems. And this is also how, at global level, the European coordination, the European peasant movement gathered with other movements from over the world and created the Via Campesina in '93. So those were big steps in the creation of the peasant movements. Via Campesina launched the concept of food sovereignty in '96. And again, it was something really strong to go against this globalization of food and food treated as a commodity, but also to go against the idea that food, the problem of hunger, had to be treated by opening the trade again to be able to provide food for the people. So our idea was that we can feed our people, peasants can feed the world. And food sovereignty, which is a concept, is a strong concept, and has been a strong concept to gather all the struggles that enables peasants to keep producing, who can keep us feeding our communities. Another important struggle has been around defining rights for peasants, and this has been developed at the Human Rights Council in Geneva over many years until 2018, when the United Nations adopted the Declaration on the Rights of Peasants and other people working in rural areas in New York. This struggle and this instrument will be a good basis to protect peasants all over the world. There could be a lot of other presentations, but I would like to summarize that getting together, having strong concepts, strong ideas, our own ideas on what is agriculture, what is a peasant, what are our rights, what is food sovereignty, has been very important for us to still be active as peasants, to prove that the peasant system is strong and resilient when it was promised to disappear with modernizations maybe 50 years ago. At the European coordination via Campesina, we do not really speak of degrowth, but actually all what we are doing around food sovereignty is really about degrowth. When we put food sovereignty at the core of our action, it means that we put feeding the community at the main aspect of our work, and peasant farming as the way to feed the people. So it's completely against the idea of globalized food system, which is the other model, which is in fact developed at the global level, where you have larger farms made to produce big amounts, big quantity of commodities that are sold either on the local, national, international markets, whatever you think, when the purpose is not to feed the people, but the purpose is to make money, actually, to make business. So for us, growth is not the point, or the point is actually to feed the people. This is how we have developed peasant agriculture, and already to be a peasant is a struggle for itself. And this is, I think, the first thing that our organizations do. They support young farmers to start their business and to get organized and see how they are going to find land, to find their productions and so on. So this is really a first struggle, and for many of them, and many of us in fact, it's been difficult to start farming and to get into this community. Then I think to defend food sovereignty now in Europe, it's really a main issue to the struggle for land, to have access to land for young people. Land is very expensive in many places, and you cannot imagine to buy land in all situations. So really you have to find other ways to get new entrance into agriculture, to find new ways to have young people starting businesses, either by collective farming, or by, you can have also people buying land and renting them to young people in a collective manner or individual manner. All these kind of questions have to be also addressed at European level with the land directive that we are struggling for at ECVC level. Another point which is also really important is the question, of course, of the CAP. So we are still working on it, and the farm to fork strategy that has been put forward by the European Commission is a great opportunity for us to open the discussion again. There is a new text, it's a big advance that there is this Green Deal and the farm to fork strategy and the biodiversity strategy, but we need now to change the CAP and make the CAP align with the objectives of the farm to fork strategy. In the meantime, we have really to struggle to improve what's inside the farm to fork strategy. At the moment, what we see, there are a lot of words to say that, okay, we need to switch to turn to a more sustainable food system, but there is nothing to saying that we have to keep our food system, we have to keep our production within the planet boundaries, which is really what is degrowth about. We cannot grow just because it's not possible. It's not sustainable. So to be sustainable, we have to contain ourselves within what's renewable, the renewable products, and what biodiversity can offer, and what land, the earth can offer without being ruined for our children in the coming times. Now I think also for young farmers and for people who want to to have sustainable food systems. It is also very important to get involved in all those councils that are created in different places in Europe, or in different city council, at city level, or at regional level, and even at European level. We are expecting some kind of democratic council to tackle food issue. It's not in the farm to fork strategy so far, but it will be very important that people, real people, normal people, not only companies and representatives of businesses, can be included in discussion around food and get really involved to give a future for our food systems.